Whenever we are making a new recipe, we always see the procedure, how it is to be done, what are the different steps, what to do, when to check, and all those things. The overall objective is to make sure that the food which is being made, that should be delicious and should fulfill the expectation of for all those people for whom we are making it. Something similar happens in the form of a control plan, wherein the idea is that we should create a recipe in such a way so that whatever the customer expectations are there, that can be met. Now, so far, the control plan was actually a part of APQP and also as a part of annexure in the IATF standard. But in March 2024, there's a separate manual of control plan where the objective is that how we can see the control plan in a holistic and a detailed way and can understand what exactly the expectations. So far, you know that there are three key steps or the three key phases with respect to the control plan: prototype, pre-launch, and production control plan. In this new version, they have added one more, that is called safe launch control plan. Now, this safe launch control plan is coming immediately after the pre-launch control plan. When we talk about prototype control plan, primarily it is being made at the time of design process in the phase 2 of APQP, wherein the idea is that based on certain key characteristics, we should just try to see that what kind of product is coming out. So for that, we make a control plan. But when we talk about pre-launch control, it means that some equipments are there, toolings are there. We are broadly ready for the production, but prior to that, we are just trying to see that what kind of controls are there, and we just see the process. And then the production control plan, which is the mass production, that in real situations, how the processes will go. So there are certain controls which are defined there. So in between pre-launch and the production control plan, safe launch control plan option is there. It is up to the organization whether they want to use it or they don't want to use it. Now, the next point is that who should make the control plan? Now, in many companies, generally there is one person who is typing on computer and making the control plan. But in real essence, it is a responsibility of the cross-functional team wherein all the input should come. And these cross-functional teams should be people from engineering process, production, quality, store, dispatch, sales, supplier, customer, and based on their feedback, the control plan should be made. Now that brings another interesting aspect, that what is the key purpose of making a control plan. Now we can very easily see a template of control plan, we know how to fill it, but then why we are filling it, what is the intent behind that. So let's talk about it one by one. The first is with respect to documenting the process control. When we say documenting the process control, the intent is that whatever is the voice of the customer and what is the voice of the process, are we understanding that, are we incorporating everything into the control plan? That is one key purpose of that. Then another important aspect is there are certain things we call it as pass-through characteristics. Now pass-through characteristics are those which are being controlled at the supplier end. At the organization end there is no control and it will directly go to the customer. Say for example the welding process. Now all the controls are at the supplier end. At the organization end, there is, when assembly is being done, we don't have much control over that. So at that time, what kind of controls that need to be applied in the control plan at the supplier end, that becomes key to that. Then second purpose with respect to making a control plan is about maintaining the process capability or process stability. Now, whenever we are making a control plan, the idea is that how much predictable the process is, how much we can trust the process. Because if we can trust the process, there is a high possibility that whatever output is coming, it is consistent and it is going to fulfill all the requirements. And certainly, if it is happening, so it means our cost of poor quality will be low, the reliability on the process will be very high, and whatever the timings we have given to the customer, we can adhere to that. The third important purpose is with respect to providing the reaction plan. Now, whenever we are doing any work, there is always a possibility that there can be some failure. Now, there is nothing wrong in having failure. The important thing is what to do after that. So, the control plan is talking specifically with respect to the ownership. It is talking about the specific systematic way in which we have to deal with that. Because unless and until we know how to deal with the failures, it will be very difficult to ensure that we are meeting the timeline. And certainly when we are ensuring to control it, it is helping us to control the cost, it is helping us to improve the manufacturing efficiency, and overall the bottom line of the organization is improving. Then the next key purpose is with respect to supporting the quality standards. Now when we are talking about control plan, it's not a standalone document. The output from the customer is into the design FMEA. From design FMEA, it is coming into the process flow chart. From process flow chart, it is coming to the process FMEA, and from process FMEA, it is coming to the control plan. And from control plan, it is finally going to the SOP or the work instruction, which is actually being used by the operator. So the important thing is that how the string or the threads which is linking with each other, how all those things are getting incorporated into the control plan, and whether it is serving the purpose or not, whether all the things with respect to the process control are clearly defined there. That's important. Then another important thing is the process keeps on changing. So whenever changes are happening, whether all those changes are getting updated in the control plan, so that is something which needs to be seen. Another important aspect is with respect to seeing that whether it is improving the manufacturing efficiency and the bottom line or not, that needs to be seen. Then another important aspect or the purpose with respect to making a control plan is effective communication. Now, in an organization, there can be say 10 to 15 manufacturing processes. So, what is starting here and what is ending here is entirely different. So, how the communication which is coming from the customer and from the different stakeholders is finally incorporated into it, and how we are making sure that everyone is clear about it. Especially in this age where the employee turnover is very high, if the operators keep on changing, how we are making sure that the communication is still the same to each one who is working on the machine, rather than people are having their own interpretation with respect to how the process should be run. So the control plan helps into taking care with respect to that. And the most important thing is that whatever is the voice of the customer, which may have come maybe a year back, and now the person on the lowest pyramid, which is an operator, whether the operator is aware about all those things or not, that's an important concern and the importance which the control plan takes care. And the last important purpose is with respect to the reducing the risk. Now these days nobody is looking for any failures. Everyone wants that everything should be done right first time. Now, if you look into the customer specific requirement, often they are talking with respect to certain things which are related to safety and with respect to the legal requirement. So how we are making sure that when we are making a control plan, all the things with respect to the safety and with respect to the legal requirements are incorporated, they are properly identified in the form of special characteristics, and there is a separate control which is defined with respect to that. So all those things are the key purpose that why we should make a control plan, not just to make a document to fulfill the customer requirement or maybe to the organization's requirement. Now that brings another important aspect, that how often we should change the control plan. Now in general we say that control plan is a live document. It means it has life, and when we say life, it means that it is changed periodically. It's not that we made the control plan 5 years back and it is still the same. So there can be many reasons why we need to change the control plan. Maybe there's a customer complaint, maybe there's a rejection which has come, some improvement in the manufacturing process, some error proofing has been added, maybe some change in the frequency, and if nothing is there, based on the risk analysis. When we say risk analysis, it is based on the FMEA and some other past experience. So we need to see that how often we should review the control plan, and based on that, we should look into it. Now, this control plan, which has come in the March 2024, it has got some changes in comparison to the previous version which was there for so many years. So let's talk about it one by one. The first important change is that now it's a standalone document, which is not the case earlier. The second is about the safe launch control plan, which I said earlier about that. Then another important change is with respect to the advanced control method like reverse FME and the layered process audit, which has been incorporated into it. Now these days we are adding a lot of softwares, a lot of automation is there. So they have added some new thing with respect to how to deal with the software, how to deal with highly automated process, and they are also talking about the black box. When we say black box, it means there are certain processes which the organization does not want to share with their customer. They think that it's their proprietary item and it should not go to them. So how to deal with that, that is being very clearly specified there with respect to that. Then apart from that, there are updated templates and the checklist. There is a appendix B which is talking about 15 different points that we need to see at the time of making a control plan, that whether everything has been incorporated or not. So there are so many changes which has been added in this new control plan manual. Now I talked about all the good things. Now let's talk about some real challenges that industry is facing. The first and the foremost important thing, which I said earlier also, that who is making the control plan. Is it the cross-functional team who is making it, or just the one person who is sitting on computer and combining the wisdom of everyone and making a control plan, just a mere document? The second, a very important challenge which industry is facing is that, are we making a control plan to improve the manufacturing efficiency? Are we using the control plan to reduce the cost of poor quality? Are we making the control plan to improve the productivity, or it is just a document we just want to showcase maybe to the auditors, maybe to the top management, or maybe to the customer? So these are some of the key challenges which are there. So if I do a summary, I talked about that this is the first edition which was published in March 2024. Earlier there were three parts or three phases of it: prototype, pre-launch and production control plan. Now they have added one more, that is safe launch control plan. Control plan is a live document which is made by the CFT. There are certain purposes with respect to that. Some of the key purposes include that whether it is improving the bottom line, whether it is improving the process efficiency, whether it is adding value to the customer, whether it is understanding voice of the customer and the voice of the process, and how we are making sure that with the changing time, with the digitalization, software and automated process, how all those things can be incorporated into that. And the last, I talked about the key challenges about that. My next video will be with respect to the PPAP, part production approval process. Regularly I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they are helping me to understand your expectations, so please do continue that. In case you want to understand a little bit more about this video, you'll find a link below. If you click that, you'll find a blog there. There you find this information in much more detail. And in case you're liking these kind of blogs and videos, you can always share with your friends and colleagues, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website bhavyamangla.com. I've got another channel, Life Lessons with Bhavya Mangla. In case you want to know more about life or you want to enjoy the different podcasts with professionals, you can always look into it and you can subscribe to that also. Thank you.